Hey, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. We're going to have some fighting words. Before we go any further, please like and subscribe. So in this video, I wanted to do a fight recap for Gervonta Tank Davis and Mario Barrios. They had their fight Saturday night. It was a very entertaining back and forth fight. The fight started off with both combatants basically trying to take ground. Tank is normally a schoolyard bully, and he wants to just assert himself from round one. Mario Barrios, this is his weight class. He's 140, and he's the champ at 140. So he's not having that, and you could tell ahead of time that he was trying to assert himself and trying to show Tank, you punch hard, but I punch hard as well. He was actually sticking to, I'm not going to say it was a great game plan or anything like that. I want to give him more credit than what he deserved in that fight, so I'm definitely going to go over that. But early on, you could see he had a stronger mindset. And that's the thing, when a lot of these fighters, when they face Tank, I don't know, it kind of just seeps out of them over time. You know, like you come in with one game plan, listen, it's boxing. At some point in time, you might have to just change up your game plan. You might have to make a boring fight. Whatever the case may be, you might have to do what you have to do. Barrios, like I said, he was strong until the latter rounds. The fight ended in round 11. However, I want to say around round 6, he just wasn't the same guy. I don't want to say he was defeated mentally, but you can see his pace was slowing down. You can clearly see that his pace was slowing down. So I made a fight breakdown pre this fight, stating what Mario Barrios would have to do in order to be successful in this fight. He did none of those things. He did nothing, zero, none of those things. So first thing I said, do not go straight back. You cut around. You hit, you turn aside. I don't care if you turn this side, I don't care if you turn this side, but you just don't go straight back. You're already dealing with Tank. Tank has a bully mentality. The last thing you need to do is go straight back, because you're telling him psychologically, I'm getting the upper hand, or whatever I just did to you hurt you. Going to the side does not implicate that you're hurt. It implicates that you're using strategy. It implicates that you're using footwork, that you are boxing. If you go straight back, that implicates whatever he just hit you with, in his mind, has hurt you. Whether or not it did or not doesn't matter. In his mind, it hurt you. Keep in mind, he's the challenger, you're the champ. If you're stepping back, he's feeling like he's winning and he's gaining ground. That was number one in my books. I'm like, you are 6 inches taller than him. Act like it. Keep him at the end of your jab. That's all you had to do. I'm not saying it was going to be easy. I'm not saying you weren't going to have to fight him off, here and there, but you were going to have to fight him off in spots. If you just step straight back, you'll be fighting him off all night, everywhere you go, because he's just going to track you down. But that was the first thing that I said not to do. So, like I said, he's stepping back. The second thing, being the taller man, he crouched down low to fight. Tank already has the punch up to hit you. But if you crouch down low, well, then you're no different than any of those other guys that he's fought at 130 or 135. You're making it easy for him, and you're putting him in a place where he's comfortable and familiar. So you took away a huge advantage right there, a super huge advantage. You have 6 inches height on him, but it doesn't matter because you literally gave it to him. You gave him back the height, so it didn't even matter. What was another thing? I love Mario Barrios, but I said this early. I said, do not get into a firefight. He's the type of guy, if you hit him, he wants to get back. There's nothing wrong with that. It's boxing. Get your get back. But be smart in getting your get back. Don't just rush on in and get your get back. Box. Use your IQ. Use the ring. Use your feet. You can get him back in other ways. You don't just have to punch him to get him back. You can make him miss to get him back. You can make him look foolish to get him back. Look at Lomachenko. He does it all the time. That's the way you get people back. But no, you wanted to have a firefight. And by the latter end of the rounds, it was working against you, not for you. I mean, sometimes I just wish that I could be in some of these guys' corner. You know, and well, now's a good time to say, you know, please like and subscribe. If there's anybody you can share these videos with, share them. Because honestly, if Mario Barrios would have saw my fight breakdown, he would have saw his strengths and he would have saw his weaknesses. And he would have had a much better fight if he would have looked at the fight breakdown. It would have worked in his favor. And I'm not, you know, anti-Tank or anything like that. Like, I love Tank. I just love boxing. But when I see guys just giving away their advantages, it stresses me out. It annoys me. Like, you literally had 6 inches on the man, and then you took that advantage away. You are a champ, but not only that, you've been boxing for a long time. You got more fights than Tank. Why are you stepping back? You step to the side. That's what you do. Tie him up. You wouldn't even tie him up. Like the simple things that you do, and I'm talking about day one stuff. I'm not talking about you have to be like 10 years in to know this. No, I'm talking day one stuff. I don't feel like he was doing, and I also don't feel like his corner people were instructing him properly. Because if Tank is getting, listen, he's the shorter guy, you're the taller guy, and you've just been rocked. Tie him up. Run. I mean, listen, it just comes a point where you got to make it through the round. And that happens. You just got to make it through the round. Do what you got to do. I don't care if the people in the crowd is booing you. I could care less. You should care less. Listen, you can make that up in your next fight if you retain your title. But no, you didn't do that. You didn't do any of that. I don't know. I don't know. But let me say, you know, Tank, let me give him a shout out in this fight. I loved his patience. He was very, very patient. One thing that he did in this fight that he didn't too much care about in his fight with Santa Cruz was with the fight with Santa Cruz, he was getting hit a lot. I think a part of that was because Santa Cruz doesn't hit that hard. Keep in mind, Tank at 130 is really like, you know, he's a bigger dude. So his absorption is a lot more. And Santa Cruz wasn't hitting him that hard. And keep in mind, Santa Cruz wasn't getting full range pop on those punches because Tank was literally right there. So he could afford to take a lot of those punches. However, Tank went up. He's fighting at 140. You know, Barrios is a lot bigger. So instead of just taking, you know, a few punches here and there, he was blocking a lot of those shots. A lot of that stuff was like mitten shots. He was smacking it away. You know, he's scanning right here, but he's popping it away. So a whole lot of that stuff was going in. A lot of things looked like they were doing some damage or whatever, but they weren't. They weren't. A lot of times it looked like, you know, Barrios' jab would pop Tank's head back, but it wasn't. He was just flinching. He was popping, he was catching and flinching. So it would give the appearance that he was getting hit a lot of those times, but he actually wasn't getting hit. His patience was great. However, speaking of another thing that Barrios did not take advantage of, we all know that Tank, he's not the most active guy in the world. He will take a break. And a lot of times, what Tank is fighting for a lot of times, because he's a power puncher. Power punchers want position more than anything else. So they don't mind getting hit or whatever. They don't mind not doing anything for a while, just so they can get in proper position so that when they do something, it's going to be dramatic. It's going to be explosive, and it's going to be a hard thump. But Barrios, again, didn't take advantage of it. I said in my fight breakdown, what you need to do is overwhelm him with value. That's it. Throw a lot of punches. That's how you beat power punchers. Vernon Forrest versus Shane Mosley. Again, at the end of the fight, they said, Vernon, how did you handle Shane Mosley's power? He said, you want to know how you handle a power puncher? You just use your jab. That's it. Just use your jab. Be consistent and overwhelm him with just something to think about. I don't care if you even touch him with him. Just keep it out there in his face. It's something to think about. It's something for him to dodge. If he's dodging something, he can't be in position to do what he wants to do, because he's dodging your punch or he's flinching from it. Simple as that. Some of those punches are just going to be feints, but some will have actual thump on it. But if you're not doing it at all and he's literally just itching for position, you're giving him what he wants. You literally didn't use any of the things that were going to work in your favor. And again, I gotta say, you know, where was his cornerman at? I don't feel like they were instructing him properly. So again, I gotta give Tank, you know, a kudos. He was smart. Listen, Barrios, if you're not gonna do the things that it takes for you to be successful in this fight, I'm gonna take full advantage of what you're not doing. And that's exactly what Tank did. You weren't throwing a lot of punches? Fine. I'll use that time to get in proper position, and I'll edge a little closer. I'll edge a little closer. Hey, if you're not going to stand up straight and fight me from here, that's cool. I'm short anyway. I'll fight you face to face. Simple as that. If you're not going to use angles, cool. I'm the bully anyway. I want you to back up. I want you in a corner. I want you on the ropes. And that's exactly what you literally gave him. Everything he needed to be successful against you. And again, shout out to Tank. He's a finisher. He's a finisher. Once that 11th round came, again, he wasn't that explosive all throughout the fight. But when he threw that hook, that came from out of nowhere. And again, in my fight breakdown, I said Tank can cover distance really quick. He will leap off the ground. He will cover distance. And that's exactly what he did. And that punch rocked Barrios, even when he got up. Again, I don't hear anybody screaming, tie him up or anything like that. I don't hear anything like that. You can clearly see that he didn't have all his faculties there when he got back to his feet. But yet, he just thinks, again, Barrios is like that. If he gets hit, he wants to get back. Instead of tying up, instead of dancing around the ring, listen, use up the time. Do whatever you got to do. Use up the time. Tie him up and use up the time. Or vice versa. Tie him up first, use up the time. Or use up the time and dance a little bit, then tie him up. But whatever, don't get back into the fire. That's exactly what he did. He goes down again. I mean, granted, again, credit to Tank. He took full advantage of it. He knew he wasn't all there once he got back to his feet in that first knockdown. So he ran across the ring. Normally, a lot of times the guy goes down, you come at him, but you don't bull charge him. Tank knew he wasn't right. His instincts are there. He has great killer instincts. He ran right across that ring to just finish business. Drops him again. Drops him again. Barrios gets back to his feet. So what does he do? He knows Tank is a headhunter. He knows he's trying to close it out. He knows it's going to come up top. He brings it right here. Tank goes straight to the body. That's it. Done. Like, it's done. It's done. You know, I just felt like that fight had a lot more potential in terms of like really testing Tank. Unfortunately, I don't feel like it was the biggest test in the world. I feel like he passed with flying colors if it was a test. I don't really consider it any more of a test. Honestly, I think Gamboa was more of a test looking at the two fights. You know, Gamboa, honestly, I would say that was more of a test. And he's over the hill, and I would say that's more of a test. I just share these videos. I can't stress that enough. Share these videos. But you tell me what you think down below, everything that you liked about the fight. I would love to hear from you, and I like dialoguing with you.